This is By The Wayside, and the mission statement for this show is to introduce you, the audience, to creative people. On this episode, I speak to one of the creators of the card game, Pretty Princess Pomelo. Pomelo? Yes. We do an Omar Recommends right here at the table, and of course, if you stick around, I try to create a board game myself. That's all on this episode of By The Wayside. And welcome back to this episode of By The Wayside. This is a really fun episode today. I thought that we could continue to do something a little bit different each and every episode. I'm your host, Jordan Middlebrook, of course. My name will pop up at the bottom of the screen, along with my social media if you're curious about what I'm like in the real life. Today we've got some really great guests, and one thing I want to acknowledge right before I start with what I'm doing here on the whiteboard, I know everyone loves it when I bring the whiteboard out. Creating toys and board games and inventing things like games and the such, it's a years-long process. It could take forever for it to go anywhere. You could start something in your basement or your kitchen table, and it might never see retail. It might never see anything. But I just want to point out that while I'm about to do this could take years of development to be perfected. Now, what am I doing? Jordan, you've done all this talking. What are you doing? We're going to make a board game. We are going to make an easy board game that maybe you could teach your kids, and you can have some fun with it here on this episode of By the Wayside. So I'm going to put my cards aside over here, and we're going to make a board game. So one of the easiest board games to make is a roll and move board game, right? So I should have really tried that beforehand. So I got some Bristol board from like the store, and basically all you have to do, your board is just like that. You just make, what do you call this? A grid pattern. It's kind of like snakes and ladders, I guess. So let's do that. What's that? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 squares. So we'll have this as, start. And we'll have this as finish. I spell finish wrong because this guy. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's do it like a snakes and ladders, right? No, that doesn't work because I put finish over here. Oh my, you could tell that I didn't plan this out. So let's leave 5 open, and let's go 6, 7. Let's leave 8 open, 9, 10, 11. Let's leave 12 open, 13, 14, 15. Let's leave 16 open. We're going to get to Y. 16, 17, 18. Did I do that right? So what we're going to do is with these opens, what happens is you're going to take your die, you're going to roll your die, and you're going to move your pawns. You'll move them in, whatever space. So the goal is of course, the first person to get to the finish, they win. These blank spaces that we've left open, we're going to put things like activities or go back, go forward. So for space number 5, it's going to be hug someone. Hug someone. So you have to hug someone in order to move forward. And if you do this, you get to roll again, okay? So let's put a little asterisk. So over here, roll again. That's only if you do it, okay? So you roll, you get to hug someone, you go 6, 7, 8. So what do we want to put in the 8th square? That's the beauty of these, is when you create a board game for your family, you can engage creative ideas for everybody in the room. Or if just like let's say you have a daycare, you run a home daycare, and you're just like, I'm going to start, instead of pulling out Trouble, instead of pulling out Monopoly, you're like, we're going to get the kids, we're going to get all the people involved, and we're going to try this fun little game that I invented last night. We're going to have lots of fun. So for number 8, because I didn't plan this out, so for number 8, let's just go miss your next turn. So we always have to have a negative. Okay, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's do something positive. Let's say you have to do a funny walk. The Ministry of Funny Walk. And this is also another, you get to roll again if you do a funny walk. And you got to remember that this is for kids and for families and adults, and everyone's having lots of fun. Let's go down here. So let's as we get closer to the finish line, let's make this another negative square. A negative square is, will balance out the positives and the negatives. You get 2 positives, you get 2 negatives. So in this negative, so close to the end, which is always such a devious way to create a board game, you always want to make it the game against the player, so that the player always feels that they're not in charge. That's one way I like to do it when I'm creating a board game. So we're going to have a negative thing. So we've got miss your next turn up here. So down here, let's have go back 1, 2, 3, 3 spaces. Now that's a board game. So as we have created this board game, let's make it a really fun name, and it's called, let's call it The Yellow Grid. This is the name of the board game. The Yellow Grid. I can't do G's on the side here. The Yellow Grid. All right. And of course, I want you to stick around. We've got lots more on this episode of By the Wayside. I'm your host, Jordan Middlebrook. This is The Yellow Grid, a board game that I created today just for you to take home, show your family, show your friends, show your kids. Stick around, we got lots more. Welcome back to this episode of By the Wayside. So you were here, I just created a board game. I went all through that stuff. Mm-hmm. I looked
starting off strong.
Yeah, it's like I've never done this before. Mm-hmm. I have with me today one of the directors of Team Pomelo Games, Alex Young. Alex, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let's get right into the question, because this is very exciting. I had also told you before that I've been trying to get a game designer on, and you are one of the designers of the card game, Pretty Princess Pomelo.
Correct.
Right before I ask you to tell me what that is, mm-hmm. I'm going to run the promo video, okay?
Yes.
So let's do that.
And you may think I'm your everyday high school girl, but I have a secret. I'm also the magical hero, Princess Pomelo! Join me and my friends, and together we will defend our home against invaders from another world. Use our magical powers to collect the legendary citrine hearts before the bad guys do. Use star power and heart power to increase our strength, and use element cards to help us cast spells or unleash our abilities. Control our destiny by using plot cards to help us in battle and bring protection to our world.
Your puny powers can't compare to those of my battle-hardened crew. The citrine hearts are mine for the taking. Play as villains to crush the princesses, and use gear and magic cards to make us even more powerful. You can even use some cards at any time to keep the battle always in our favor. All will bow to the scurvy sea dog!
Yes! No way!
No! This isn't...
Friendship and love will always win. Bring me and my friends together, and we will protect the citrine hearts and defeat the bad guys.
Alex.
Yes.
Give me the 30-second pitch for your card game, Pretty Princess Pomelo.
Okay. So it is a magical girl combat card game. We also have pirates as sort of the antagonist of our game. Basically, your goal is to assemble a team of either all heroes or all villains. Heroes being the princesses, villains being the pirates. And to capture the magical citrine hearts.
Yes.
And once you've got all of those requirements, you win the game.
You know what, Alex? I should have thought of this ahead of time.
Okay.
And I don't stop recording at any point.
To get the game?
To
have the game in front of us so we can show it to everybody.
And they are available. They are available here at Wayside Comics and Cocktails in Newmarket, Ontario.
Absolutely.
So
we get it.
The game itself, when I'm checking out the game online, I'm holding it in my hands.
Yes.
I'm playing it. I'm watching the promo spot.
Mm-hmm.
There are heavy influences of Sailor Moon.
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, when me and the other designers were coming up with ideas for this game, one of them was a huge fan of Sailor Moon. And after he wanted to sort of go with that theme, we were kind of tossing around ideas because we loved different kinds of animes, not just Sailor Moon. We wanted to kind of incorporate all of these interesting things that we loved, all of these interesting ideas that we loved into one game. And the inspiration from Sailor Moon kind of became not necessarily the face of it, but like maybe the more dominant inspiration.
Yeah.
But we also had a lot of inspiration from things like Dragon Ball Z and One Piece, the pirates sort of being, a little bit more One Piece vibe, since, that's a whole like pirate world. But we liked all of these animes. We liked games in general, and having all of these cool things that we all grew up with made it amazing for us to kind of put into a game and also design it our way.
Yes.
And that was really important to us because we're like the three of us were all graphic designers. They're also, my colleagues are also illustrators, the other designers and directors.
Yeah.
And they, with their skills and my skills, we were able to make this game however we wanted to make it with our own inspiration from like different things. And it all started to click and work really well. So we loved it.
You know what is really interesting about when someone is designing games is that sometimes when you look at a game when you're a child and you think, oh wow, like this game based on this IP is so awesome, but wouldn't it be cool if I did this? And the fact that you can take some inspiration of things that you absolutely love and put your own spin on it, I think it's almost like, not that this is, but it's almost like fan fiction. You can be,
a little bit.
You can be the people and you can play the stories. It's a little bit like playing pretend in your backyard.
Yes. Yeah.
I like the idea.
Yeah.
I like the idea that someone that can take an idea that they've always liked, this character, create their own character on the things that they love, and they can, because modern board games are quite different than what is available traditionally, like the Monopolies and the Troubles and the Soul. It's modern board games like this are a lot different and more involved, and really important for people to understand that, not to be scared of, when they see a game with multiple moving parts, not just dice and move. You use a lot of your brain when you're playing this game.
Yes. And it's not overly complicated for anyone thinking that. It's there's a lot of things, but it's all easy to understand, and it's not too crazy. And we also on our website have an FAQ page for some things that might be not 100% clear. So we're here to help and promote our game and like make sure when you're playing it you have a good time.
Yeah, of course, 100%. Yeah, we had just watched the promo video for Pretty Princess Pomelo, just a little bit there at the beginning of the segment, and in the promo video, the CN Tower was visible. Was it important to set, quote unquote, the game in Canada?
For us, it was more about being Canadian than it was being set in Canada. So we, like when we were coming up with the ideas for this, we'd actually talked about if we were going to set it in sort of like, how can I explain this? Not like in necessarily our reality, but just like an alternate reality. What would that look like? I don't think this ever made it to the final cut of what we decided to do, but I thought it would be cool if the game was in a Canada-USA hybrid country, just kind of, really going out there with it. But one thing that was really important to us was we wanted Canadian influence in the game.
Yes.
So I believe the town we had the game set in is called New Haven. And the CN Tower is definitely there.
Yeah.
But we have other Canadian influences too. All of the main characters, all the princesses, one of the big things about Canada, specifically Toronto, as you know, super multicultural.
Yep.
So all the main characters all have different sort of backgrounds and ethnicities, not to just be inclusive, but it's to accurately represent life, right? Like we have tons of people that are literally from all over the world in Canada, in Toronto. Toronto's the most multicultural city in the whole world.
Yep.
And it's important for us that if we're going to make a game that like people understand that these people are here.
It reflects real life.
Yeah, it's not even really about representation. It's just about the fact that it reflects what's actually going on in the world today. So
I agree.
Yeah. In fact, my favorite character, for anyone who can see, is actually Princess Lime, who's the green character on the far right, maybe your left if you're looking at it, but the green character, Princess Lime. She's the best, in my opinion. I think she's the best one. We had tons of people online actually love Princess Lemon, who's the yellow character, more than the main character, which is Princess Pomelo.
Okay.
So that's kind of some of the feedback we've gotten from other people. We had an art contest a while ago too, and like so many people were drawing Lemon.
Awesome.
Right? Which was really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Alex, don't go anywhere. You don't go anywhere because right after this, I got some more questions I'm going to ask. All right?
Okay.
Okay. Don't go anywhere.
This is By The Wayside, and we'll be right back.
Super quick, super easy, my friend.
And we're back.
We are back.
I'm sorry. I'm stealing your thunder. I apologize.
No. I don't have thunder. We're doing. This is how we do it, Alex. Alex.
Yes.
From concept to knowing the game, Pretty Princess Pomelo was officially done, ready to get out there into people's hands. How long do you think that took?
I guess officially, it probably took about 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, that's a drag.
Yeah.
I just not mean a drag in terms of creating, but just it is a long time to baby that baby to completion.
Now there is a little bit of an asterisk over that because if we were to just say we were going to work on this full time without having jobs in real life and other things get in the way, you could probably get something like this done in a year, maybe 10 months.
Yep.
But that's with people working on it 8 hours a day, 5 days, so there's a little bit of that asterisk there. But because we had all that, it took 2 to 3 years to sort of develop everything. And on top of that too, all of the art is made by like our team, and like there's no outside people doing any artwork. This is all done by us.
So
here.
the main creators / designers of the game are also are also the artists for the game as well.
Correct.
So it really is just this inclusive creation. There's no outside influence of art. It's just the people that made it. They said, we like Princess Lime. This is what Princess Lime is. And the three heads that developed this game are like, this is it. Us three know what this person is, this character is. That's interesting. I like that. Now, you were saying that it took such a long time to create. One thing that I've always said is that artists, visual artists, are perfectionists. They always look at their artwork in a comic book or up on the wall, and they'll always see that one thing, that one mistake that they made. It's never really complete. When you're looking at the game now, thinking back on the game or playing the game, do you ever come across something that says, I wish we had done that, or we made a mistake doing that? Not that I'm trying to point a negative light on it, but is the game really complete? I think that's the question I'm asking. Is the game truly complete?
Good question. Yeah. I think from an artist's perspective, the artist, because I didn't really do any of the drawing myself. I'm not an artist, unfortunately, the way the other team members are. They're amazing illustrators, by the way, super, super talented. They might have a better answer for that question in terms of the artistry. Mechanically, though, how the game functions, 100% yes. Because every time you make a game, and after you sell it, or you get someone else to play it, or you publish it or whatever, someone somehow finds a flaw of some kind.
Yes.
Okay. And it's never on purpose.
Yeah.
It's never, malicious. And it's not even mean when they point it out to you. It's just them saying they pointed this out. And because there's no rule stopping it or starting it or whatever it is, sometimes it can make your game a little unstable.
Interesting,
to say the least.
Yeah.
I will say that we are currently working on an expansion for Pretty Princess Pomelo.
Awesome.
That helps fix some of the mechanical issues. We have some amazing characters lined up for the expansion. We have some really cool magic cards, or I guess plot cards and element cards, all that kind of stuff. Tons of really cool things coming in the expansion.
Awesome.
We don't have an official date for that yet, but I can tell you that all of the characters have been fully designed.
Awesome. Well, definitely people will have to go to your website to stay on board and always up to date with what's happening. That'll, of course, will pop up in front of you right here. So, Alex, there is also a comic book / manga that goes along with Pretty Princess Pomelo.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Well, that was an idea born from one of the illustrators. This particular one loves drawing a lot. He made his own, I don't know if you would call it a manga or comic book, but before this, he was like working on his own thing. And then when we started doing this, he kind of stopped doing that and started focusing on this, and then made his own manga and comic book because he just loved the characters so much. And it looks great. And I think there are 10 chapters currently released. I think. I'm not 100% sure about that. I have to check. But like, if you purchased it way back when, I think you got somewhere in between 8 or 10.
And they're all based on the characters in this.
Oh God, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes, all of them are all characters about everyone in here.
It's interesting how one creative endeavor can create more ideas. Like when you look at this is the stupidest thing I've said today. But when you look at the game Battleship,
Yep.
the fact that I just chose the worst example.
No, but run with it. I want to see where it goes.
But it was the first game that popped into my head.
Yeah.
But Battleship, of course, became a movie.
Yeah.
Not the best movie,
Yeah.
but then if you take a look at something else, like how the He-Man cartoon was a cartoon to sell the toys, and then the toys became the comic book. And then the comic book became the live action movie back to the cartoon. The synergy of how everything works. So it's almost inevitable that the characters, the plot lines, the stories, and the powers of Pretty Princess Pomelo expands beyond the game. It becomes something more. It becomes that thing you can hold in your hand, that manga, that comic book.
Yeah.
And you can see more adventures with these kids. It just makes sense. It just makes sense.
Yeah. 100%.
Like you're not going to play Monopoly and Uncle Moneybags. What's his name? It's not Uncle Moneybags.
I don't know. I thought it was just Mr. Monopoly. Right?
Oh no.
But the Monopoly man you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
He's got a mustache, I think.
Yeah.
May or may not have a monocle.
But he's. Are we doing Mandela effects on this episode? I don't know just yet. But the mustache, he's evil. He's got a mustache.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, 100%.
Everyone with a mustache is evil.
Yeah.
I said it here, and if I said it, everything on the internet and TV is true.
That is how it goes.
I
yes,
agree 1,000%.
100%. Yeah.
I can't thank you enough for taking the time to spend with me. Talk to me about Pretty Princess Pomelo. And I look forward to the expansion. I think that's super exciting. So everyone needs to make sure that they follow along with whatever comes up at the bottom. Whatever I put up.
It'll show up. It'll show up.
And good luck with this, because I know that it's been out for a while, and the expansion is going to make it even better.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
No problem, Alex. Stick around. We got lots more, and maybe I'll just convince Alex to buy my board game that I just made. Okay.
It'll be an easy sell.
Stick around. We got lots more. Welcome back to this episode of By The Wayside. And I know that this hasn't happened in a while. We're doing an Omar Recommends, but we're doing an Omar Recommends right here at the table. And as you know, here at Wayside Comics and Cocktails, the owner and purveyor, Omar Sayer, is around. Omar, we're doing an Omar Recommends. Are you around?
I am. How did I get here?
You're always here. Whenever I'm here, you're here.
That's right. I never leave. I'm like the ghost of comic shops.
The ghost of comic shops. Future?
Present?
Past?
All of them, really.
Is there a word for all of them? Time?
I am the Chronos of comic shops.
The Chronos of
Chronos, god of time.
No one can take that, though. That's ours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Omar Recommends is a segment in every episode of By The Wayside where you come on and you recommend a comic book. It has always been a comic book, but it never has to be a comic book.
It's a pretty self-explanatory thing, Omar Recommends.
I agree, but what I just wanted to point out that it doesn't have to be a comic book.
No,
it just
it
happens to be a comic book. For anyone that's just wondering what the heck we're doing, I'm just kind of reminding the audience that Omar Recommends is a segment in where you recommend things.
Correct.
If I was to ask you, I'm going out for a nice fancy meal, what would you recommend as a drink?
As a drink for a nice fancy meal, I mean, I'd always recommend an old fashioned.
An old fashioned?
Yeah.
Okay. See, you recommend more than just comic
It's a staple for a reason. Yeah.
You're more than just you're multifaceted in your recommends.
I mean, I try to be.
Try to be. Continue to try to be. Omar, what do you have to recommend for us today?
All right. I'm going to recommend a book, but I'm also going to give you a TV recommend because that's why I chose this book today.
Oh.
Because I've really been jonesing on the new Alien Earth show, which I think is pretty fantastic so far. And I love the world that Ridley Scott created in the great movie. Alien and every subsequent film. The Alien vs. Predator universe is one of my favorites. Grew up on it. Alien is the first horror movie I ever watched. I was 3. Thanks, Mom. And I've loved it ever since. I love the universe. I love what they do. And because Marvel owns the rights to Aliens, well, we get this amazing little crossover called Aliens versus Avengers.
Ooh.
Now, this series has no right to be as good as it is. At least I feel like that's a lot of people would be like, Aliens versus Avengers, what are we doing here? But my God, is this good. So you got Jonathan Hickman, one amazing writer, very high concept stuff. And then you had Esad Ribic, who's a frequent collaborator with him, beautiful painted art style. And what these two do in this book is absolutely magnificent. I'm going to start talking about the art because the art really cements that kind of used future that the Alien universe is so well known for. This is really very much like a war story. It feels like it's very like boots to the ground. And what that does is it really gives you this sense of like urgency and this sense that, you know, no one is coming to save us, and they're trying. And like you see all these heroes that you're so used to fighting all these like giant villains. It's like zombie movies where, you know, it's not like one zombie is scary, but it's fallible, right?
Yes.
But when you have a lot of them, it becomes a thing where it's like an overwhelming force.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you have here, where it's just like these heroes are backed into a corner and there's this overwhelming force of these perfect organisms annihilating everything. And you get to see just all these different heroes interacting with this very impossible situation. And there is a lot of just hard-hitting moments in there, and some of the most graphic, I would say, some of the best graphic depictions of horrible moments I've seen in a book in a while. In this particular one, Esad Ribic does a wonderful job with his paneling and his storytelling to capture some moments where like you really like. There's a scene with Captain Marvel that just like really just haunts me to this day, and it's just so well executed, and like these are all like super powerful beings, and then just it's really brings everybody back to earth. But it's really grandiose. It's really good speculative science fiction. Really uses the characters well.
Cool. Is this the kind of book, because it's an aliens book and the aliens are sometimes geared towards like a mature reader? What would you like? Would you recommend this to like an age group?
I would say like 13 plus.
Oh, okay.
Like sort of, like I said, there are some like pretty big moments in there, but it's just very well written science fiction. Like
awesome.
they've taken these two concepts, they've meshed them super well, and they just tell a great story. I don't want to say too much about the story because there's lots of those moments that I don't want you to see coming.
Yes.
And that really sells the nature of the story about how dire the situation is.
Well, it's Aliens versus Avengers, so it's got to be packed with something amazing.
And the character moments all stand out, and everyone gets a chance to stand out. And I really like that about this book. I just love it. I think it's for anybody who wants a good science fiction story. If you like heroes, if you like those kind of Elseworlds type stories, definitely pick this up. This is 1,000% worth your time. The artwork is gorgeous. The writing is so good. Jonathan Hickman has chosen his characters very well, pose these questions, and to be the ones to do these things. Like it all makes a lot of sense when you're reading the book, and you're just like, oh, that's who. Oh,
that's cool.
And
man. It's before we go, I do have a quick question in regards to Aliens versus Avengers. How many awesome moments does the Punisher have? 0. Omar, thanks for playing along.
I'm not gonna. I told you, no spoilers.
You can spoil it for me. I'm not gonna
spoil it for you.
Everyone, cover your ears.
Jordan needs to buy this book. That's what needs to happen.
Always the salesman.
And then he needs to do a story about it and be like, "You need to read this book too." Oh my God, Omar was right.
Oh, he's always right. That's why it's called Omar Recommends, and Jordan usually listens. Omar, that's it. That's all you got. Thanks for coming on the show.
I appreciate that. It's been a while since we've been at the table.
It has been a very long time. It's been an awesome summer, and I encourage everyone, even though the summer is over, I encourage everyone to still keep coming to Wayside Comics and Cocktails in Newmarket, Ontario. And,
please do.
And check it out because it's a great, warm, and welcoming environment.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And we will catch you by the wayside, guys.
All right. Don't go anywhere. We got lots more in this episode.
Do we?
And that is a complete episode of By the Wayside. I can't thank my guests enough. I can't thank Omar for doing his Omar Recommends, which he does on every single episode. And I can't thank anybody enough for participating and watching me make a board game on the fly. That's always fun to do. That's a nice lesson in creativity. Of course, I'm Jordan Middlebrook, your host. I encourage you to, let's move the social media stuff is here, website stuff is here. I encourage you to follow along, like, share, repeat, comment. A guy's walking by Main Street here with a pretty awesome flower shirt. Caught my attention. Look at me, look at me. He's not looking at me. Follow along all the social media stuff. Thank you very much for sticking around. I am Jordan Middlebrook. Social media stuff. The show, of course, again, is supported by Wayside Creative. It's an independent publishing company based in Canada that focuses on cinematic storytelling from innovative voices. I'm Jordan Middlebrook. I said that about 9,000 times. I'll catch you by the wayside.